Everybody, welcome back. We are tuning in right now. Welcome to Skycast. This is a testing stream for the most part as well, to make sure everything does run smoothly and everything due to this new computer that we got. So everybody, welcome to the stream for the most part. Everything's a lot smoother now, obviously, as we can tell. So if anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, should be able to answer them pretty fast, pretty quickly now. So right now, our main concern is going, if we zoom out a little bit, our main concern is going to be this line of storms right here. And with this, obviously, we still have some supercells with this, but this is more or less kind of congealed into a line with more of that wind segment, which is why we have these severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for that 60-mile-an-hour winds, 1-inch hail. So we're going to go ahead and start, tuning into these. And right here, we do have a tornado warning for Dubuque. I guess you could say Dubuque and Asbury. Just got distended. This is radar indicated, does expire. Where's that? Don't see where it says expire. It lasts for the next 27 minutes, though, so about 7 p.m. Central Time. And this is on the Birds of 2 radar sites. But that little couplet is going to be right there. And you can zoom in and you can see of course, we do have those gray areas, but where that green and that red meets right there is where we're watching for that tornadic activity. There's that new scan. It's still going to be right there. And this whole area could see a possibility of wrapping up. So we're just continuing to watch this tornadic thunderstorm with this. This is also dropping hail within around an 0.75 to an inch with that. Now we're going to shoot on up to the east towards Argyle, New Glarus, where we do have this tornado warning in effect for the next 40 minutes. This is just north of the Monroe County Airport. And if we look at this, right back here is going to be where you're looking at that couplet. This is a kind of a weird site for the radar picking it up. You can see right here where that blue and that green is kind of meeting there. Right here, that's where that couplet's going to be. Looks like Connor Croft is on this storm as well. And then we're going to go up north just a little bit to the DeForest area and the Sun Prairie area, where we do once again have this little couplet over here across the 3990. Just east of Dane. This does include DeForest, Leeds, in the town of Bristol community, and that's going to be that little area there. And then you also have another area. It looks like another area of rotation that could go tornado borne down to the south of Wanuke, including the Sun Prairie area. So to be weather aware for the afternoon, this should not continue to be a relatively longer threat. This tornado watch does extend for the next 3 hours and 25 minutes through portions of west of Milwaukee, Beaver Dam, Watertown, those areas like that. The threats for this is also relatively low, with a 40 over 20 for tornadoes, 60 over 20 for wind, and 40 over 30 for hail with that. Somebody joined, but I'm not exactly sure what language that is, so I will have to translate that and see. Let me see what that says. Oh, hurricane season. Yes, there is a very, hey Autumn, welcome to the stream. Zoom out just a little bit. Oh, my Wi-Fi quite died just a little bit. Oopsie daisies. The area of concern that we are looking at was going to be over here towards Jacksonville, Florida, and you can see a little bit of that kind of making landfall right here. That's a little bit of what we were watching. That risk obviously is gone, though. For that, let me just make sure I have it on, though. Not exactly sure which thing that is under. I think it's under hydrological. No. do want mesoscale discussions on. Tropical weather. There it is. Oop. I was on the wrong thing. Okay. Like I said, that's where that area was looking. And then we come over here and we have this over 40% chance towards the Gulf of Mexico. So overall, not too wildly of... not exactly sure what that is on the radar. Oh, the Hurricane Hunter. Okay. Oop. So that's what we're looking at for hurricanes and all that. So that answers your question. We also have a tornado warning up here in Canada for the Hanover area. We don't really cover Canada. That area of rotation is going to be right here near Port Elgin and Southampton. So if you're interested in Canada, you can watch that and see. But our main interest is going to be over here towards that. And that's actually some very concerning rotation actually with this. So if you're in Argyle, anywhere along 78 here, Lament, you look like you're okay. But don't come out of shelter. Give it like 10-15 minutes for this to finish up. But if you're anywhere near Argyle and Monticello, even Exeter, you need to be preparing to get into your safe spot. You can see how, look, if we play it back just a little bit and let that load up, you can see how actually this is played out. And you can see if we actually pause that and run back to scan, you can see, you know, you kind of had that area where we were looking for that tornado warned area over Lamont. And that is kind of strengthened up into what we're looking at now with that green and that red kind of mixing there with that blue. If we're looking at that, not relatively wild. You do have that area of like 44 miles an hour, 44 ms. So overall, not too speedy, but this is strengthening into a concerning threat. So that's a area of concern. We come back over here to Asbury because I'm not pronouncing this. You can see all those areas where we do have that gray in there is that gate to gate is that non-gate to gate shear. With that, you are seeing not as much of a couplet, so that can be a good thing for this storm here. Could be falling apart. Just hoping it doesn't wrap back up. This could also turn into somewhat of a little bit of a hail threat too as this continues to move through. And then we come back up here towards the Madison area, towards DeForest, where we are looking at this. Once again, you do have that kind of that gray areas through here where you're not seeing that gate to gate shear, but this can wrap up. You can see about right in here. If that were to wrap up, that's where that concerning threat is going to be. So if you're in any of the tornado warned areas, make sure you're preparing and you're seeking shelter. This one down here is going to be my focus, though. I believe that, yeah, this one right here is down here. So just anywhere near Argyle, you need to be in shelter now. This is going to be over you here any minute. And then yeah, there's that. Very strong rotation trying to pop up here right now. So Argyle, you 100% need to be in shelter. If I want to... I do believe meters per second, miles an hour. There we go. So if we're looking at that, you have a rotation in here of about 40, even upwards to 70 miles an hour with that. And with that green, that's not kind of assisting on the other side, but that is very much some big inflow with that. This is now a PDS tornado warning. An observed tornado has been located Argyle, you need to be in shelter. I didn't know this went PDS. You can see there's that debris ball right here popping up off the county road. So Argyle, do not think it's a major town. Does have about 1,000 people here. So you need to be in shelter. Strong, likely life-concerning tornado on the ground. You need to be inside in the lowest floor into the most interior room. I don't know why that keeps falling off my wall, but it did. With the track this is taking, it does look like it could pass just north of Argyle over 78, but that doesn't mean you still need to be in shelter. You 100% still need to be in shelter with this storm. Come up here and just take a look. This storm not looking as still as concerning. Nothing's wrapped up with that. And then down here with this, once again, nothing wrapping up. You still have those gray areas where that gate-to-gate shear just isn't there and isn't worthy. But PDS tornado warning. Seek shelter. Lamont, you guys are in the clear now. I'd wait, though, to make sure you guys do not come out of your shelter. This is a very strong supercell with this. This is once again producing 1-inch hail or quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. This is a particularly dangerous situation, a damaging radar-confirmed tornado. If you're in any of those areas, New Glarus, Monticello, Lamont, Yellowstone, Lake St. Park, and the Jordan Center, an observed tornado is there on the ground, and it is confirmed to be causing damage. So Argyle, once again, I'm going to say it again. I've been saying it over and over. Going to say it again. Argyle. This is, I believe, Wisconsin. Yeah, Argyle and southern central Wisconsin. And then Monticello along 69. Doesn't look as interesting. You still do have that kind of connecting wind from like 86, 90 miles an hour. If we change over to the correlation coefficient, right in there would be your debris ball with that. So this does look like could lift, but that's going to be to the north of Argyle for the most part. Also, if you feel that anything that you're seeing on here right now, I was rushing to get this stream up. So if anything on here is likely will be to change. If you like how much smoother the streams are running, please let me know. I'm always looking for feedback for these kind of things. There's that new scan. You can see that red's gone. You still got that connecting couplet right in here. Does not look to be insanely strong, which is a good thing. This is likely going to be a rain-wrapped tornado too. So this is passing the 78 north of Argyle right now. Come back here to the Asbury cell. You do have that kind of that connecting there now through Asbury. So Asbury and Dubuque, if that's how you pronounce it, and Sageville, you need to be in your safe spots. Just in case that does wind up trying to wrap up and produce a tornado. And then we're going to come over here to the Sun Prairie area, the town of Bristol. Not anything interesting. You see everywhere that gray areas are between that green and that red. It's that non-gate-to-gate wind shear you have there. So with that as well, you are not looking at anything imminent just yet. You still need to take these warnings seriously, though, because they still have the tornado possible tag with them. They do have the possibility to produce a tornado, just like this one down here did near Argyle. There's that new scan. Does look like it could be trying just a little bit to wrap up through here. So Prairie View Heights, town of Bristol, Sun Prairie. As of now, you should be in your shelter. This just depends on to see if this will wrap up or not. To see if that'll do anything. And then the severe thunderstorm warning extends for almost 40 miles north to south. From anywhere from Stockton up into Beaver Dam. Includes Watertown. This is for 1.5 inch hail, 60 mile per hour winds. And then once again, it's a little bit of a flooding concern where we do have these flash flooding areas back here. Flash flood watches, flash flood warnings. And you can see just how big this line of storms are. They are moving relatively fast too. But here's this big line of storms with some embedded supercells. You have these 3 supercells right here that are of that little bit of a concern. So just if you're in this area, you got Vince Welty coming up and all that. If you're in these areas, just stay weather aware through the rest of the afternoon. There's that couplet again, still there. This could likely still be on the ground. It's really hard to tell, though. But there's that couplet. Even if it's not on the ground anymore, which I'm still going to say it is, even if it's not on the ground, you need to treat this as if it's on the ground. Here's that going to be that debris ball right through there. There's like a cough went through Argyle right now. Don't think this hit the town, which is a good thing. I don't think that town got hit at all. Looks like we do have a new scan coming around, if it doesn't lag. There's that new scan. You still have somewhat strong gate-to-gate shear. That's 67, 68 over 13. That's almost 70, 80 mile an hour gate-to-gate shear. So that is possible for that to withstand and keep a tornado on the ground with that. That is very strong rotation. So very much can keep a tornado on the ground with that. So just continuing to watch this to see what it does. We're going to focus our shift to more towns to the future. Monticello is a town with about 1,000 people. This storm is moving about 30 miles an hour. So from the couplet that we are looking at from this radar scan into portions of Monticello, Monticello is expected to be impacted within 23 minutes. So that will be about 8:10, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time, 7:10, 7:15 Central Standard Time. Hopefully this tornado isn't going to be somewhat of a long track tornado. I don't think we have the ingredients there for that. But we are continuing to watch to see just what this does wind up producing. And then with that scan, it does look like it's gone. That shear, that rotation there. So continue to watch this one very closely to see what that does. There's that actual supercell structure. Very textbook for the most part. Then we want to come up here to the town of Bristol area once again. And look at that area. Not insane, once again. So it does look like this is turning into more of a wind event. Could see a wrap-up tornado with this, but this does look like this area through here could be turning into a wind event. And the threats for this is for winds of about 50 to 70 miles an hour. This is going to continue off to the Great Lakes, and then it should lose that steam as most of this moves off to the Great Lakes. A tornado watch. Just for that part, we have more storms beginning to fire off back here. And if we do... Actually, I don't think I can read this thing. We do have this other MCD here for there to possibly be some more storms fire off back through here. And if we do look at that tornado threat, if that does load up, you can see that 5% tornado threat stretching all the way down into Davenport. So, had a PDS tornado, particularly strong tornado with this. Kind of goes to show what we are looking at. Gonna see if I can show that off a little bit better. There you go. There's where we're looking at that 5%. 2% tornado threat stretches all the way over into Michigan. So a very large tornado threat area that we are watching. And one other thing that I do want to focus on, because we are going to be focusing on this area of storms for a lot as we continue throughout the afternoon into the nighttime hours. We have severe storms through portions of the New York area, and a lot of these are that considerable damage threat. You can see these severe thunderstorms. I'm going to focus on one up here. To the east of Rochester, we do have the severe thunderstorm warning for 70 miles an hour winds. That 1.5 inch hail, that golf ball sized hail. Nothing wild on velocity. There isn't a tornado threat over there, so that's obviously not surprising. Come over here towards Cortland, New York. Considerable threat, lime sized hail, which is about 2 inches in diameter. 70 mile an hour winds with that as well. And then we come back once again. That considerable damage tag, 70 mile an hour winds, golf ball sized hail through Duthie and Walton. So one more down here, kind of basic, but through Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. And this is going to continue with that steam off to the northeast. If you're wanting more information on storms through tomorrow's areas and all that, I will have a video out tomorrow for that. PDS warning, tornado warning, still stands in effect. Not an amazing area right now for that. That couplet, if we're of concern, is going to be right back in here. Oop, hiccups. Or right back through this area. So Monticello, nothing wildly crazy still yet anymore. Had a new tornado warning just been issued though. East Obeek, this does include Hazel Green, South Jamestown. This is crossing the border into southern Wisconsin into Illinois. Actually, on my thing, I put Missouri, so that's a mistake of mine. My bad. But you do have that gate-to-gate shear there. Obviously, you still have some of those gray specks, so that can show a lack of imminency. But this is crossing the border. You got Illinois right here, Wisconsin right here, and then Iowa right here. So it's going to be on the state border between that, and this is moving just to the east. So Hazel Green and New Diggings, you two are up next for the most part. Had to let out a cough. PDS tornado warning still exists. If we're looking, there's that area of rotation popping back up on radar. Not wildly interesting still with that one anymore. Would not be surprised to see this get downgraded. I kind of want to zoom out just a little bit. If we're looking at the Davenport area, tornado watch still exists for another hour. So National Weather Service not seeing an insane need for them to keep that tornado watch. Still, once again, that same threat for that 90% overall severe hazard. And now we are looking at a new MCD. Tornado, severe thunderstorm, possibly even a tornado watch. Likely is issuance. Some issuance of severe threat is expected for western and northern parts of Illinois. Damaging winds are the main hazard. So once again, we're looking at that slight risk for damaging winds of 50 to 70 miles an hour. But a conditional tornado threat will also exist. A watch is likely needed this evening. So we're just going to have to watch and see how they issue this out. I do not know if it'll be a tornado watch or a severe thunderstorm watch. That'll be something that we're just going to have to continue to watch the National Weather Service page for. Well, I seen somewhere that Greenfield actually broke a record. So it does look like if I pull this up really quickly on OBS, just kind of show you that right here, this is Wikipedia, but the Greenfield, Iowa tornado had around max wind speeds of about 313 miles an hour, and that breaks almost the record from the Bridge Creek 1999 tornado. So if that's of interest to you, this is pretty cool. This is what Twitter is mainly focusing about for the most part. So that is very cool. And then we're going to change back over here where we do have a new tornado warning being issued. Does include the town of Bristol area once again, just to the west of Columbus. Includes Route 151. Not wildly tornadic just yet, but you do have that area where we can watch to see this wrap up. Okay. So this is that new tornado warning for the next 30 minutes. With that, you do have that that 0.75-inch hail threat with that. This PDS tornado warning did get downgraded. This got downgraded to a regular radar-indicated tornado warning. I would not be surprised to see this get extended. We do have two areas of rotation. One towards the west of Monticello, and then one towards the south side of Route 69. There's not really any communities near that to point out. Albany over here. Then we got to come down here back to Jamestown. Tornado warning for the next 13 minutes. A very fast-moving cell, to say the least. Once again, that gate-to-gate shear there. More conditional threat is turning into. And with that, So going to zoom back out, going to take a small break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Timer will be on the screen. Thank you guys so much for choosing Skycast as your go-to weather. We will be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. And yes, we are going to come back just a little early and switch that over. We do have a new tornado warning in effect, so we are going to watch that. This includes the I-95 corridor between Milford. This includes Marshall, Waterloo, just outside of Watertown. Very strong rotation with this. So you can see that's a 73 to 73, 69. Very intense rotation on this storm. So South Marshall, you need to be of concern. Waterloo, the Waterloo area, if you're anywhere on the county road. So very strong rotation with this. If we look at the correlation coefficient, there's a debris ball. This thing is on the ground. This thing is strong. You need to seek shelter now. This thing is causing damage. This is heading to the east. You can see how that debris ball kind of just picked up between there. I want to play it back. As you can see right through here where that debris ball picked up. This is a tornado on the ground. I do not want that. So just seek shelter if you're in with that. We'll come back to this. I do want to cover the area that's down here really quick too. New tornado warning for this one as well. Includes New Garius. Not really an amazing radar site for that. And then we come back over here to DeBeek, just south of Jamestown, where this tornado warning is for the most part set to expire. I don't know if they will extend it or not, but if they do, Benton and New Diggings and Shoalsburg, you guys need to prepare. So I'm going to shoot back up to our main concerning storm. It's going to be that Lake Mills area. You can see that observe tag on this now. This is strong rotation. This is now a PDS tornado warning. Particularly dangerous situation in Wisconsin. This is a strong tornado. A very deadly tornado. So seek shelter. Very much seek shelter. The Waterloo area is my main concern right now, because there is very much, if we switch over to correlation coefficient, there is very much that potent debris ball, and it is headed directly for the town of Waterloo. And if we look at this and kind of see how fast this is a town of over almost 3,000 people. So we can hope it changes direction, or it lifts. This hopefully shouldn't be a fairly long tracking tornado. But this is definitely, as of now, some strong rotation with this storm. It did wrap up very nicely. So we're going to continue stay on this cell. You can see that new scan. Still have that connection, but not as strong as we were seeing. You can watch that play out. You see how it kind of weakened out just a little bit. Let's just hope it continues that week. But Waterloo, Wisconsin, you need to be in shelter. So just continue to watch that, waiting for that new scan with that too. There we go. We do have a comment from Jay. I do want to read that too. Run of lightning. Strong thunderstorms north of Chicago. Have not been paying attention to that area. I don't think I have lightning bolts enabled on this, so no, I have not been seeing it. You can see very much a hook echo with this as well. You can see a little hook echo area right here. Kind of both little areas. But this is now moving into the town of Waterloo. And if we're looking at that, this is about 31 to 73, 31, 73, so that's about 80, 90 miles an hour. So it did lose a little bit of steam. But this is very much still a potent tornado. And haven't got a update. There's that debris ball. Not as potent with that too, but it's going to be right there. That debris ball signature isn't only picking up dirt and things like that, but it's picking up pieces of shrapnel, of vehicles, of light poles, of trees, all that fun stuff. So that's, even if you don't get hit by the tornado, you do not want to be impacted by this tornado at all. So you need to stay indoors until this fully passes. You can see that 74 over 8 and 11 still is weakening. That does look like, but still has that ability there to keep that itself on the ground. Severe thunderstorms continuing to move off to the east, though, and that tornado warning does look like it was extended through portions of the Milwaukee area. And it does look like those two are the only areas of a tornado that we are watching. It does look like the rest of this is turning back down here into a more wind MCS style event. Of course, we are still watching these two storms right here, with the southern one being mainly of a big concern as this moves into the Waterloo area. Gonna replay the scan just once again, kind of show you where this touched down. You can see it right by the town. OBS Studios disconnected or something. Yeah, for some reason, I think my Wi-Fi might have disconnected. OBS, we are back, though. So it did do that reconnection. That was odd. You still have that gate-to-gate shear, though. This is moving into the town of Waterloo now. This debris is moving into the town. You can see it, once again, not as potent of a debris ball. I don't know why, but connecting and stuff, but we are back once again. So gonna debris ball, and for some reason OBS keeps disconnecting. I guess it's the Wi-Fi continuing to play in Goofy. I'm not exactly surprised. If you are seeing posts on Twitter and stuff and you are in these areas, please take them literally. Yes, it's the Wi-Fi. Continuing to play Goofy. Yeah, there's that. Okay, that is connected back. So we have seen two strong tornadoes on stream so far. Been live for about an hour. Continuing, kind of watching this area back here die off in storms. We're now going to be focusing on this area, though, towards Peoria and Chicago, where we are watching this MC, kind of more of a MCS style event. as this continues to move off to the south. This part does be looking like it is moving more to the east. So this will kind of lose its steam as it moves into portions of the Great Lakes. Milwaukee, those areas need to start preparing. I am now starting to gonna continue and watch this area now. This area, you can see if we kind of replay that area has kind of started trying to wrap up right beside that one area. That's right here. So if this tornado warning does get extended, it will likely include the town of Watertown. And that is a town of about the size of my town here in Kentucky. This is about 24,000 people. And you can see there's that trying connection right there. You can see if kind of rewind that scan. You can see that it kind of was trying to connect together. Now you kind of have that lesser gate-to-gate shear, but that is still connecting. That rotational area is now past the town of Waterloo. Still have a little baby debris ball. Likely that's not a tornado on the ground, but likely a debris fallout, which means that all that got sucked up into the air. And now that is falling out of the sky. Just where that tornado that got so high in the sky. I am really gonna have to try to invest in some better Wi-Fi because this is not. Okay. Now, as we look into this watch zone that we are looking at in the future, we do have these storms moving off to the south and southeast, and that will move through the watch zone by about 11 or 12 Eastern Standard Time, by about 10 or 11 Central Standard Time. And that will be a lesser conditional threat for severe storms, although we still have that. This will continue to move off to the south-southeast, though, and then that will mainly diminish through portions of the Ohio Valley. Whoops, wrong button. We are watching a new severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado possible tag with that 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This does include the town all the way over to Hartford, Jefferson, Fort Atkinson. Watch OBS disconnect again because of the Wi-Fi. Oh my goodness. So here's that tornado warning area. Still particularly dangerous situation labeled. Would not be surprised this one will likely be let to expire. Sud Prairie, Columbus, and Bristol. You guys are in the clear now. We are continuing to watch this storm now for that conditional tornado threat. Still concerning as we're continuing to watch. This is going to be that area it's going to try to wrap up in. Right in here. And that's moving towards the town of Watertown, likely towards the northeast. If we look at the correlation coefficient, does look like the debris ball that was up there did die off. If we're looking at that debris ball area through here, it'd be like in there. I don't think this is a debris ball with this storm, but we will have to see. I just kind of continue to see how that develops with that. I think that is just contamination. And there is a little bit of a hook with this as well, so there is everything really needed on radar for this to try and drop a tornado. And you can see that kind of that speedier wind, that 58 there. So that is 100% trying to wrap up. So if that does, by the next scan, continue that, they will likely extend that tornado warning. So Watertown, you of all people need to be preparing. There's that new scan. It lagged, it looked like. There's that new scan. Yeah, 100% trying to wrap up. There's that new tornado warning. So that I'm not exactly shocked. So definitely trying to wrap up there. Definitely strengthening. You have that like 70 over 15. So that is 100% trying to produce that tornado. There is not a debris ball on the ground that would signify anything with this. But the town of Watertown, Richwood, Webanon, you need to be in shelter. Our main concern is this huge area, this huge town of Watertown. And then the strong rotation just to the west across Hubbleton and State Highway 19. So definitely of concern. Tornado warning to the north expired. So we're just watching these two areas right now. This one specific area, but these two tornado warnings. Definitely an overperformance for a day. We had multiple strong tornadoes. One, I think there was one even before I logged on stream. So you can see how that pink, that orange, you can see up here upwards on the scale, 60, 70 miles an hour. You can see how that's kind of strengthening with this. We do have there's that new scan coming around. We do have the ingredients for this to try. So we're just waiting for that new scan. Watertown, I hope it's trying to pass to the north side, but even then, you can see those road connections. Hoping that it just does not touch down. And one thing that we can hope about today, these are not long tracking tornadoes. These are strong, but relatively short-lived. And there's that area, 100%. And see that connection right through there, and then even back up through here again. It's definitely trying to wrap up. And if we look at that history, kind of tell where this thing is headed. It does look like it is headed to the northeast. Hopefully we'll pass that downtown area. If you look at the correlation coefficient, could possibly be a debris ball popping up here on radar if we kind of go and we correspond with this on. Yep, there's that area right there. So gonna go ahead on a limb, say this is on the ground, because that is very much wrapping up and kind of coming together for that. So if you're in the town of Watertown, anywhere along State 19, Richwood as well, if you treat this like this is on the ground, you need to be in shelter. Even if this does wind up lifting and all that, and then nothing else happens. This is a severe storm. 1-inch hail, 60 mile per hour winds, as well as this strong rotation that we are seeing here. And I do believe this would be considered on the ground with that signature right there. If we look at all the alerts, we do have tornado warnings back over in Canada, which I do want to watch real quick. Through the Owen Sound area, nothing interesting, but this tornado warning does last for the next 1 hour. Canada does this based off severe thunderstorms that are capable of producing a tornado kind of differently than the way the National Weather Service does. But the thunderstorms there are capable of possibly trying to produce a tornado. Then I want to focus back over here where we do have severe thunderstorms continuing through the New York area. Over here through Fulton, 1-inch hail, 60 mile per hour winds, about $half sized. Down through Pennsylvania, 0.75-inch hail, 60 mile per hour winds, 1-inch hail, 60 mile per hour winds. A lot of these storms that were through this area did die off. And now we are left with just a few of these scattered severe thunderstorms. And then this big area back here that we are watching currently right now. This is 100% trying to turn into a big wind event with this as well. Doesn't mean it has to be very fast winds. It just means that it is trying to become somewhat of a like 60, 70 mile an hour wind event. We do have a new MCS. Trying to pull that. Here it is. We do have that new MCS from the National Weather Service Twitter page. Tornado risk will continue into south central and southeastern Wisconsin. This does include areas that we're watching for that current tornado threat. But as well as that, we are looking at Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha for that tornado threat to continue. So if you're looking on Radar Omega for that, it's going to be this area for the most part that we are considering to see for a few tornadoes to continue. So that's very good placement by the National. Well, actually, you can't see that. I forgot. I have to swap that back. Oops. But this is the area that we're watching for that conditional tornado threat to continue. Not exact, but that kind of does show. Very much some strong rotation trying to pop up. 67 over 71 miles an hour. Up together, that's about 130 gate-to-gate shear. Watertown needs to be in shelter. Trying to get this out on Twitter too while we're watching this here, because this is very much a concerning threat. If we do look over at the correlation coefficient, you can see very much a debris ball on the ground with this as well. So this is a tornado on the ground, moving to the northeast of Watertown, hoping very much that it does pass the town. That's just what we can hope for. We don't want any injuries, loss of life with this event. And with this, it does look like it could be passing just to the north of the town. So that's our main hope. This is still a very populous area through this area. But this is now about ready to cross the State Highway 19. Okay, got that. Got that issued out. Very good. Alright. So there's that new scan. It kind of does look like obviously we still have that gate-to-gate shear. We do not have that overlapping feature. This is a still observed tornado warning now. A radar confirmed tornado. We have nobody in the field that can be there to confirm it as of now. For some reason, Twitter would not send out my post, so I'm having to write that back over. There we go. It finally sent. There we go. Change back over to correlation coefficient. Does look like we still have that very debris ball right here. Now crossing State Highway 19. As of now. So that's definitely going to pick up debris along that. That is going to eventually begin crossing the Route 26 area. I'm just very much hoping that this does not shift. There's that new scan. Doesn't look like still as bad as we were seeing. Still has that very wide debris ball as this is crossing over State Highway 19. You can see with that as well. Not as strong rotation with that. You still have that gate-to-gate shear. So this is likely trying to rope out to lift. Then we zoom out a little bit. This is now continuing to move to the east, watching a tornado possible threat down here to the south towards Janesville. We do have two areas that could be a little bit of concern. One being right here towards Janesville, the other one being right here towards Broadhead. May see a tornado warning. You'd see we do have two areas. Speaking of which, I don't think that could have been any more perfect timing with that. We do have a new tornado warning. Go ahead and change over to that velocity. New tornado warning. We just seen it, but this is going to be that area that we are watching. So this is just to the west of Janesville. This does include Janesville, Anderson, and Johnstown, just out of Fairfield. So if you're in this is southern Wisconsin. For perspective, Milwaukee's over here, Chicago's down here. You need to seek shelter now. This is very strong winds with this. If this does wrap up, this could potentially be a strong tornado. And then we're going to continue to watch this area back here for that same threat. Not as big of a couplet, but that same threat still existing with that. Now I do want to change back over out of that back to Twitter. I don't know why it went black screen like that. Okay, maybe it does not want to do that. Okay, so it does not want to show Twitter, so that's fair enough. We'll show it on Radar Omega. Zoom down here through this whole area. Severe thunderstorm watch remains to exist. Was just issued. This does include Chicago, Gary, Bloomington, and Peoria, all the way down. It does include portions of eastern Iowa still. The threats for this should remain relatively conditional. A low tornado threat, about a 20%. But a 60 over 20 and a 30 over 10 for wind and hail. So this is going to be turning more into a MCS event through the next 5 hours, 16 minutes. Do have a very, very potent hook forming on this cell right here. And then if we look at that, that is very, very textbook rotation. This is a little worrying to see. It does not look insanely strong, which is good, but this is very much textbook. You do have that kind of that hook echo trying to form. You have a major city right here, and then you have that very, very potent inflow on both sides. Do want to come back up here though. Town of Watertown does look like you dodged a bullet. Tornado does not look like it's on the ground anymore. Got a... Right here would have been that debris ball. Does look like it would have passed to the northeast, northwest of the town, which is very, very gladdening. And then that did lift. So both of those very helpful. Very good thing. Now our main concern is focusing back down here where we do have the town of Janesville. Almost 70,000 people in this town. And likely an imminent tornado here momentarily as this moves through the town. This does include 39 and 90, Interstate 90, Route 11. Janesville, no, needs to be in shelter now. This area back here that we were watching doesn't look as interesting. This is continuing to try and wrap up, though. Even if it's not imminent, there is still that rotation in there. This one is a lot more rain wrapped than this one, too. So just be weather aware on that cell back there. This one fell apart very much, so this does not look interesting anymore. The tornado warning should be set to expire in the next little bit. But our focused concern is going to be down here towards Janesville, which we should get a radar scan any moment now. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns about your area or for the future, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer to them. There's that scan, just waiting to see what happens. Not as concerning as it was looking, so that's good. But is directly over Janesville now. We are looking at this full area. Just for an area that could rotate up and wrap up. There is very much a potent hook on this, though. This is definitely textbook supercell. Thank you to everybody who's currently tuning in. I appreciate the support. Make sure to subscribe for more up-to-date information. A video should be out tomorrow. Finally got a new computer. So this is, as this continues to move off to the east, this should hopefully remain kind of a lower end tornado threat. We don't want to see any more strong tornadoes. Especially there's a reconnection. That Wi-Fi is being a little goofy goober. But anyways, you can see that area right here for those storms that are prompting this severe thunderstorm watch. Severe thunderstorm warning down here, which I do want to cover. This is... It's going to disconnect again there. It's going to be goobery. Come on, little Wi-Fi. It ain't that hard. There we go. Lineville, Seymour, and Allerton. This is 60 mile an hour wind, 0.75 inch hail. Does have some strong winds with this. Actually, there is a little bit of rotation with this as well, you know, through that area, as well as up in here. So we will continue to watch this to see if that does try to do anything. Don't expect it to. Observe tornado for the Janesville area now. We do have a tornado on the ground. I'm not exactly sure where. But we do have a radar confirmed tornado. Oh, down here. I was not watching that at all. So we do want to kind of pop on his stream real quick. That is very much rain wrapped. Okay. So this is for South Jamestown. Very damaging tornado on the ground. You can see there's that debris ball right there. There's that area of rotation. I was not paying attention to that at all. I was paying attention to that up there. Storm relative velocity. Here's that rotation area right here. There's that little connection that you're looking at. This is for South Janesville. Hopefully it's not too damaging of a tornado, but you do have that debris ball there. And that debris ball there is lofting debris fairly high. We do have storm chasers on the ground too that are unable to confirm this just due to the rain-wrapped visibility of this. You can see that is 100% textbook supercell. There's that hook echo with this. If you're watching or on Twitter, please get this out on Twitter, because I'm not going to put this one out on Twitter unless it does get more concerning. I'm going to focus on alerting people that are actually alerted to the stream, because I do not multitask like that well. But there's that debris ball. Crossing Center Avenue now for Highway County 6. Remaining to the south of this, fairly good though, but the health center, the hospital that's there, is now... I think that went PDS. PDS tornado warning for downtown Janesville. This is a tornado on the ground. Very concerning. This is a particularly dangerous situation. A large damaging tornado has been confirmed by somebody. So if you're in this area, please seek shelter immediately. You do not need to be out trying to see this. This will be rain wrapped. There's that debris ball changed over. This does look like it's going to be passing to the south, hopefully, of the hospital there. There's that couplet actually trying to form up now once again. I'm going to put this on Twitter really quick, so I may not talk for a second. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to put them in the comment section. This is moving out of downtown, the actual community of Janesville now. There's that debris ball too. This is now moving into a more rural area of this, but we're now starting to get into the smaller communities. As we continue east, get into like Delavan and Elkhorn. So this is another particularly dangerous tornado warning. For a slight risk, to say the least, this is definitely overperformed. Definitely, definitely, definitely. There's that couplet, though. Couplet does not look... Well, before I say that... Yeah, there's that couplet. It does look like you see those like gray splotches. Does look like it could be trying to loosen up. You can see if we look at the correlation coefficient. It did look as well very potent a few runs before, rather than now. So hopefully that could be a sign that it has lifted, but this is a considerable threat. Damaging tornado. Weather spotters have confirmed this. People have seen this on the ground. And then there's not much else to say. This is a life-threatening, deadly situation. Tornado emergency, I would not say is likely, just due to the nature of these, the where this is at. With this storm, I do not think it's going to be imminent. But very much a damaging tornado just went through the town of Janesville to the south. And just look at that structure. Very. It does look like the Watertown area tornado warning. If we look at that on velocity, it does look like that could be set to expire. It does look like it's gained actual momentum back. So we will continue to watch this one as well to see if that conditional tornado threat exists through that area. But 100% just going to continue to watch this cell for that worry. And this does look like it is off the ground. There's that debris fallout right there. So once again, if we kind of look back from where we are east of the Janesville East SSM Health Center, and kind of all the way back here where we're seeing that first initial debris signature, that did track about 7 or 8 miles. So that kind of still goes to show these are strong tornadoes touching down. Does not mean they're relatively long tracked, but they are likely very somewhat strong. Do have that debris fallout, though. This is no longer on the ground from what I'm going to say. If you're in the tornado warning, though, treat this like this is on the ground. Giving you a little bit of hope there by saying it's not on the ground, but you still need to treat this as if there is a tornado on the ground. It does look like storm chasers are going out to check some of the damage. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. Switch back over to velocity. Thankfully, velocity doesn't look any concerning either. Praying for the people in Janesville, though, does not look like it was an insanely strong tornado, but you did have that debris signature for that. And then once again, the cell up here likely will get that tornado warning removed, but continuing to watch both this area up here and then this area down here for that tornado threat. And then we do have that severe thunderstorm warning, which I haven't been watching. But that severe thunderstorm warning has been extended almost through Milwaukee for the next 46 minutes. This does have that tornado possible tag, 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. I do have Twitter notifications on for this. Does Twitter have a desktop app? It has an app, but it's still called Twitter instead of X. Alright. That is cool. So that'll be helpful for the future whenever I get this. Once again, I want to say what I said earlier. Anything that you see on here is not finished. There will be more updates to the stream and all that New computer, so I have to go through and edit all that back. And all that fun stuff. But I'm very excited to continue with how smooth these streams are running compared to how laggy they were beforehand. So this tornado warning will likely get the PDS lift off of it. This tornado warning will probably continue just due to the nature of the storm. This has a history of producing tornadoes. So along Interstate 43, Elkhorn, Richmond, and Delavan. That's your main concerns. Of course, you do have areas like William Bay, possibly as well. But Darien, Delavan, Elkhorn, and Richmond, those communities need to be on guard for the next hour or so as these storms continue to impact. I think that's been my fourth tornado count so far. And then there were tornadoes before this started, so this could be classified as somewhat of a tornado outbreak. You are only, I believe you're only required to have about 6 to 9 tornadoes. Smaller size tornadoes for a smaller end outbreak. We hit 80 views on the channel, so thank you guys so much for that. Still running 60 frames on that finally. Again, we're finally getting that, so... Oop, bumped my mic. Sorry for those with headphones users. We're now starting to get into this severe thunderstorm warning area. We're going to wait for this new scan really quick. There's that. So this could try to wrap back up again. Would not be surprised. Look at the high-res velocity. Not anything concerning yet either on the high-res storm velocity. I'm going to shift back down here because this is more turning into likely an MCS style event where we do have severe thunderstorm beginning to move to the southeast. This is going to go for Rockford, Freeport, those areas as of now. Gonna come back up here. PDS still exists. Probably waiting for the rest of that fallout to stop. Just making sure that National Weather Service. Nope, they have not issued anything wildly either. Okay. Thank you to everybody who is also reposting on the Skycast Twitter profile, which you can find link in the description. We need to get the word out as much as possible. If you're not, if you find it on somebody else's account, please repost it there too. People who are on Twitter likely do live in this area and need information on the storms, so repost it from anybody's account. Just be helpful for that. That's one thing that will help people in the long run, is getting the information out. Move back over here just a little bit. Special marine warning for the next 3 hours. Ready where for Sheboygan down to Kenosha. Ooh, got a little bit of a yawn in. This is for wind gusts of 34 knots or greater and some small hail. So do not know why you would be on the water 8-9 o'clock at night in storms there, but if you are, get indoors. You still have a little bit of time. Get off the docks. Get to your shelter on land. You don't want to be caught in this, especially with this conditional tornado threat continuing with this. So I'm going to take another small break. Likely won't stay the full 10 minutes, but I will be right back here shortly. Once again, thank you guys so much for choosing Skycast. Real quick before I do go, new tornado warning does include radar indicated for Delavan, Darien, Elkhorn, and Richmond. That's kind of what the area we were expecting. So Walworth, Williams Bay, Delavan, Darien, a lot of communities in this. So make sure you're seeking shelter. You've had plenty of time to be talking about it, to have your tornado plan in place. This is it now. So get to your shelter. Going to take a quick break. I'll be right back here shortly. Thank you for choosing Skycast as your go-to weather. And we'll be right back in just a moment.